how he was rated coming out of high school. That's his second error today, and that one comes much of a cost. I mean, that's now the 4th run to come across in the 3rd. 4 runs in the 2nd as well.
Runners on 1st and 2nd for Cole Garrett. Jenkins is going. Dolberry didn't double steal, so he was caught up at 2nd. He's in a pickle trying to run back towards 2nd, and Manias tags him out. That's the 2nd time an inning has ended in a pickle. Back-to-back innings for Tri-City. And poor Cole Garrett was at bat during both. Back-to-back innings for Tri-City with 4 runs. It's 8-0 Peppers on the CPL Game of the Week. Well, at Shepherd Stadium, in between innings, right now we've got a dad chasing his son over to the bouncy houses and beyond. He got a plate full of shaving cream. He's still going. A plate full of shaving cream to the face. Good entertainment here at Shepherd Stadium. And Zach Abbey, poised as ever, didn't face him. Back on the hill. He's still chasing after him.
That's your workout for the day right here.
And Mark Sisko, for the 2nd time, sees the plate. I think you may have just been able to see the chase go on behind home plate. I'll try to let you know how that ends. Can't say it went pretty. Oh, 2 to Sisko. He's 0 for 1.
Watch out for that RW Sunshine foul ball.
The 8 runs for the Peppers haven't been, I don't want to use the word exciting, maybe thrilling. They haven't been thrilling. They're not going to get you out of your seat. No long balls, just one double from Avery Neves that brought home a run, but a pair of pass balls, some infield singles, some errors, some blue pop-ups in the shallow center field. Kind of been the name of the game for the Peppers here in their 8-0 lead early on. Feels like we've barely seen Zach Abbey. And Sisko goes down. It's the 4th strikeout for Abbey. And MJ, he's cooking.
Yeah, really impressed with the way Zach Abbey has been able to continue to come out and perform after these long offensive innings for the Chili Peppers. I mean, 2-4 spots in back-to-back innings, yet Abbey still looks super crisp out on the hill.
Well, he doesn't really need much to warm up in this weather. The sun is setting, but yet It feels like we're playing baseball on the sun. How hot and humid it is in Southern Virginia. 1-0 to Dooley inside. So Zach Abbey off to another fantastic start. It was his 5th game. CPL All-Star sub-3 ERA. That's top 3 in the league so far this summer. And this past spring at Northwood, a D2 school, he was really good. 2.22 ERA. Dooley takes a walk. 52 2/3. Just the jump between his freshman and sophomore year was otherworldly. In 2022, I mean, he only started 1 game. He came out of the pen in 10. He only pitched 12 innings at a 7.3 ERA, and then all of a sudden, a big jump, 3 complete games in 2023. He started 7. He won 5 of those. 60 strikeouts, and that's a big reason why he's going to D1 in Florida Atlantic. And how about this? Justin Stark, a frustrated swing, down 0-2.
Yeah, Zach Abbey is a guy who has so many tools and so much potential to be a great baseball player in the future.
Dooley is going a slow look over Cook. Loses it on the throw, and maybe Cook telling Abbey to throw over there.
Well, that's just heads-up base running. Abbey, I think, made a mistake, went out of the windup.
Yeah.
And as soon as he goes out of the windup, Dooley has a free base to second. I think that's just a mental error by Zach Abbey. I think that's what Henry Cook's coming out there to talk to him about.
I mean, he's only had 2 base runners all night. He didn't have them for long. And he gives Ryan Dooley a free base. The 1-2 from Abbey, driven into right field by Stark. Estrada, a diving catch! What a play! Back-to-back games with home runs coming into today, but right now, he's showing off the guns in right field.
Wow. What a play by Danny Estrada. Nearly had a play like that last night. And that's just some fantastic effort. Reading it off the jump, getting a great start to the baseball. Man, what a play.
Dooley stayed put at second. This one out there as well. Estrada and Dulberry to the track, and Dulberry says, "Don't mind if I do." Zach Abbey, another inning with just 1 base runner. He gets out of it. Going to the bottom of the 4th, it's 8-0. Bottom 4th, Josh Miskey. What's the update down by the field?
Welcome back to Shepherd Stadium, and the Chili Peppers leading the Peninsula Pilots by a score of 8-0. And a big reason for that 0 is number 36 on the mound, Zach Abbey. He's been excellent, just as he's been all season long. And the first time the fans here at Shepherd Stadium are getting to see why he's been selected as CPL All-Star. Had 2.11 ERA coming into this game, and it's lower than that now because he's still got a 0 on the board and 1 hit to his credit. And if you saw the interview earlier at the beginning of the game, he had a similar ERA in his college ball, and he said, hey, it's been a bit of a transition, but he's done just fine transitioning here to the CPL hitters. Let's send it back upstairs to Will and MJ.
Thanks, Josh. Cam Knuckles still on the rubber for the Pilots. And Cole Garrett remains at the plate. Second time he's had to start an at-bat inning prior and then have to continue it into the next inning. One from Knuckles. Way inside. Garrett spins out of it. Parker, backhand. This time he fields it cleanly, showing off that arm. And one up, one down so far in the bottom of the fourth.
Nice job by Darnell Parker there to finally get one. Not a hard bounce off the bat of Garrett. I mean, a hard hit ball. He was able to glove it cleanly, and that's got to feel good for his confidence.
Just basically a high school senior. Neves. Oh, what a catch. Over in the Peninsula Pilots dugout. One hand as it chopped over their heads. Really stellar crowd here, library night at Shepherd Stadium. MJ, you a big reader?
You know, I used to be. I say I used to be. I feel like I just used to read a lot more for school.
Yeah.
There is definitely times when it's nice to read, and I will say, if I get a good book, it's really hard to put it down. There have been some really good books that I've read, but also at the same time, if there's a book that is just not that enjoyable, it's tough to continue.
What's your favorite book that you've had to read for school purposes, like in high school? Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
Absolutely loved it.
Down the line. Stark has to pick it up at foul territory. Neves is going to have his second double of the night. He's starting to find his swing.
Yeah, I mean, Avery Neves finally coming alive today. We were talking about a pregame. It feels like he's been a guy that we've just waited to see burst on the scene. He showed some pop, but really finding his swing tonight.
Knuckles has struggled. Eight nothing. Peppers, and I mean, we said this, but the runs driven in by Tri-State. I mean, a lot of unforced mistakes from these Pilots. Pair of errors. 2 runs on a pair of pass balls. Neves dancing at second. 2 hard swings in a row from Cook. But Neves has the only 2 extra base hits from both teams tonight, and you would think with the score being 8-0, maybe have a home run in there or more spreading of the wealth. Cook waits on the curveball, but coming in to make the play is Ryan Dooley. So we saw Danny Estrada get down on his knees and get dirty in right field in the top half of the inning. And then Ryan Dooley, his counterpart, doing the same. Dalton Hurst singled his last time up. He's also walked. Well, we mentioned that coming into the game, the Pilots have won 7 of their last 8. Not been their A game today, but 3 of their probably best players not in the lineup today.
Yeah, not sure what the move is for Hank Morgan to keep those guys out, but it definitely benefits the Peppers. I mean, a few of those guys last night, really all of them, had big impacts. I mean, we talked about Mason Dunaway going far for 5. We talked about Chris Martinez getting 2 hits, one of those being a home run. And Henry Garcia found base 3 times and scored once.
Some studs over there in the dugout for Hank Morgan and his Pilots. All-Star break next week. It's in Lexington, South Carolina, at the home of the Lexington County Blowfish. Hurst takes another walk.
Mr. Hurst.
And that's been the killer tonight, William. You talked about Avery Neves picking up the only 2 extra base hits. The scoreboard reading 8-0. It's been walks, hit by pitches, errors that have killed the Pilots. Unforced free 90s. It's a big reason why Peppers are on top as much as they are.
That is the 8th walker hit by pitch by Pilots pitchers tonight, and you said it best. You're not going to be able to win that kind of pitching. Bean swinging. But you have to credit how the Peppers have approached these at bat, because a lot of these, they're getting behind, swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off maybe. They're staying patient.
Foul ball brought to you by
It's 0-2 to Bean after 2 straight cut-throughs. And Bean just not even moving his feet on that swing. He struck out for the 2nd time tonight. No runs in the 4th. It's Ethan Ott, Aaron Manias, and Barham White do as the hitters. Zach Abbey still on the hill for Tri-City. You're listening to the Coastal Plain League Game of the Week on Flow Sports. Zach Abbey, the future Florida Atlantic University Owl, is on the hill, and I overheard him and Carter Gorling behind us on the bus maybe about a week ago when he announced the commitment. Said, do they even have owls in Florida? I'm sure they do, but like it's a good question.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funny mascot. MJ's looking it up right now. Are owls in Florida? Burrowing owls occur year-round in open areas throughout Florida. They inhabit open grasslands, prairie, and other open areas. It's just like, I feel like as a child you would think that owls are in cold climates.
Yeah.
But I guess they can be anywhere.
We have owls down in Alabama.
Have you ever seen snow?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes to school in Southern California from Alabama.
I mean, not a lot of it. But
Okay.
Hey, Pepper fans.
Hank Morgan out for the second time tonight. Talking to Jerry Burrish, the home plate umpire.
It's funny, when I was in 5th grade, we actually had a massive snowstorm that everyone now refers to as the snowpocalypse. And it was on a Tuesday, I remember. Only supposed to have a few.
How long ago?
About when I was in 5th grade,
Okay.
so back in, golly, I can't remember the year, but, I mean, probably almost 10 years ago, a little less than now. Only supposed to be a few flurries that day. Ended up coming down. A lot of kids got stuck at school. I had to walk home. It was crazy.
Like during the snow, the heavy snow?
We waited for it to stop, but, I mean, obviously people in Alabama just not accustomed to and not prepared for all that snow like they are in the Northeast. So that's kind of why the city shut down for like a week.
What's the coldest it gets at Southern Cal in the winter?
It's gotten below 50s before, like at night. But usually not too cold.
Battling with Abby. So the heavy snow, maybe a couple inches.
No, it was a big snow. It was the biggest one in Birmingham.
I mean, if it's called the snowpocalypse these days, as Ott puts one, oh, that took a weird hop. He gets on base via a single, first time he's been on tonight, and just the second hit. Abby's given up.
Number 14, Aaron Monias.
I guess you have to worry about some other things in Alabama, though.
Here it is.
Snowpocalypse, Snowmageddon, 2014 Birmingham, Alabama. Aaron Manias, lefty on lefty, puts one out into left center field. It hops off the wall. Ott running into third. What a throw! Avery Neves guns out Ethan Ott at third.
I mean,
And no one was happier for him than Michael Dolberry out there.
I mean, which one was better? Estrada's catch or Neves' throw? I mean, that was insane. Off his back foot, catches it off the wall, just turns around and just chucks it. But, I mean, tremendous arm strength, tremendous accuracy by Neves. I've never seen a throw like that.
Just the upper body strength to be able to do that. He takes it off the wall, and it looked like for sure like he was going to get to third, but Ott, not knowing if it was going to be caught or not, had to hold up. So it is a double for Manias, but not able to advance the runner. And we talked about early in the game that errors were a problem. The defense was an issue for these Peppers early on in the year. That no longer the case, and especially not tonight with what we've seen from the outfield. And Dolberry may be about as good as it gets defensively out in center. They're still talking about the play out there. Neves and Dolberry pointing. This one gets away from Cook, but Manias not choosing to go for 3. Well, Zach Abbey continues to prove why he's one of the best pitchers in this league. His 5th strikeout. And James Bierlein going out there with Darnell Parker, the 9-hole, hitting shortstop to the plate. Not too much movement in the Peppers pen. I have to wonder what this conversation holds.
I mean, I think this is more of just maybe an adjustment. Maybe he sees something mechanically wrong or throwing a pitch maybe that he doesn't like. I mean, definitely Abbey's cruising. There's no reason to worry about Abbey right now.
Yeah,
A comfortable lead on the scoreboard.
Manias, but
yeah, I mean, definitely has given up, a single and a double this inning, but maybe that's what he's having a conversation about. But besides those two, I mean, Abbey has been cruising.
he struck out Parker once already. Oh, 1 from Abbey. Off speed, Parker way in front of it.
Watch your lips.
How about that? Zach Abbey continues. 6 strikeouts, 2 of them this inning after back-to-back hits. Going to the bottom half of the 5th. It's still 8-0. Chili Peppers on top.
Back here in the home half of the 5th at Shepherd Stadium, the Coastal Plain League Game of the Week here between the Tri-City Chili Peppers and the Peninsula Pilots. MJ Newsom joined alongside my partner and good friend William McDermott, and it has been all Chili Peppers so far in this game. 8-0 they lead. It's been a lot of walks, a lot of errors for the Pilots.
I mean, this is a rivalry that it feels like there's simply just haven't been that many close games lately. But, I mean, last night's an 11-6 victory for the Pilots, and they looked like a powerful team, and lately they've been killing it. They won 7 of their last 8. But Peppers tonight trying to snap their 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, the Pilots on top of the East Division in the second half at 4-1. Lincoln Ransom, the new arm into the game for Peninsula, a right-hander out of Old Dominion. It's a bullpen game for the Pilots. He's the 4th pitcher of the night. Danny Estrada, 1-1 the count to him in the leadoff spot. Estrada puts it hard on the ground. There's Parker, bounces out of his glove, fires across, not in time. That might go down as the 3rd error for Darnell Parker over at shortstop this evening.
Now batting number 283.
I mean, just to be able to get a glove on that ball is impressive. It was the exchange that he had trouble with.
Next batter in is Brandon Ike. Still no decision on the scoreboard whether that was a hit or not.
I ruled it as it.
I think Williams right, a hard
Yeah.
enough hit ball. I would give Estrada his 2nd single of the evening. Ike, this one hard on the ground through the 6 hole. Make it back-to-back singles for the Chili Peppers in the home half of the 5th. Lincoln Ransom off to a rough start.
Back to plate number 5, Michael Perry.
Well, through 7, Peppers are up 10. Game would be over.
We were talking about that earlier. It would be a nice bounce back for them, having lost to this Pilot squad last night on the road, 11-6.
Stay tuned for the top of the 6th inning with a special guest.
Mike Dolberry now digs in. Nobody out, 2 runners on. Mentioned Dolberry hits in 9 of his last 10 games. He's reached base every single time tonight. However, not a hit. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a fielder's choice. Those came in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd innings. Big hack from Dolberry. Cannot catch up with it. 1-1 the count even. Dolberry tied for 2nd on the team in home runs. He's tied with Estrada with 6. Estrada back-to-back nights with a home run. Mentioned he led off the game last night with a home run on the 2nd pitch of the evening. Lincoln Ransom tries to attack with the fastball low. Dolberry in a hitter's count, 3-1.
And Dolberry's patience at the plate is all about his load. You noticed every pitch, his load is the same. He almost checks swings on every pitch. That time, he goes around. But it's all, his hands are just violently coming towards the ball, and that's what makes him such a good hitter.
A 320 average coming into this game. Leads the team in RBIs with 32. Payoff pitch. Ransom tries to paint the outer black, but misses. Bases are now loaded for Cole Jenkins.
Dolberry was almost frustrated. He walked. You see him fling his bat over to the dugout.
He's been walked twice, hit by a pitch, and grounded into a fielder's choice. He wants to swing the bat. Cole Jenkins has also reached every time up, still without a hit. A fielder's choice, an error, and a walk. Bases are juiced for him in the home half of the 5th. Peppers threatening to go up by even more. They scored 4 in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th. A pair of goose eggs sandwiched those 8 runs in between.
Jenkins, another guy, kind of like Dolberry, reached on an error, fielder's choice, and a walk. Yet to get a hit tonight.
Jenkins likes this fastball, cuts through it, 93 miles an hour out of the arm of Ransom.
Yeah, he's been taking some big swings.
And a big fly last night over in Hampton, his first home run of the summer. Cole Jenkins, the guy you have a chance to talk with here in the top of the 6th, playing over at first base. We'll get to have a conversation with him while he's on the field. We'll talk a little bit about his summer, a little bit about his high school volleyball career, and a few other fun things. Jenkins' college teammate and roommate Cole Garrett stands on deck. Garrett without a hit tonight as well. He reached on an error to lead off the 2nd, and later came around to score for the first run of the game. 2-2, Jenkins takes the fastball 94 miles an hour. Lots of velocity from Lincoln Ransom, however, having a tough time finding the strike zone. Payoff pitch from Ransom. Jenkins looks at it low, and Ransom walks in a run.
And Ransom frustrated, maybe thought that crossed the plate for a strike. Jerry Burris says it didn't. It's 9-0, and it's the 9th unexciting run of the game.
Lots of walks, and lots of walks. That's been the issue for the Pilots, to go along
10.
with a few errors and hit by pitches. You heard Williams say 10. Really a nightmare on the mound for these Pilots pitchers. 9-0 Peppers lead. Cole Garrett has him juiced. A guy who feels like he's due for a big home run.
They give him anything to hit. I mean, this is just tough.
Garrett had a 3-hit night on Sunday right here at Shepherd Stadium against the Wilson Tobbs. Looking to have a little repeat of that. I mentioned 0 for 3 so far. He did come around to score after he reached on an error to lead off the 2nd inning. Count to Garrett is 2-1. This one scoots by the catcher White, and in comes the 10th run of the game. Make it Brandon Ike crossing the plate. Another issue tonight for the Pilots has been behind the plate.
Third pass ball that scored a run, MJ. Barham White, I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, he's kept a lot in front of him, but the 3 he's let go by him sure were gettable. That one was too. Another 3-1 count for Garrett. Open base at first now.
3-1, Garrett takes a hack and fouls it away. 2 runners in scoring position, a full count now to Garrett. Nobody out. Avery Neves on deck. What a night he's had tonight. 2 doubles, and also had that spectacular throw in the left center wall just an inning ago. Garrett pounds a ground ball into the ground, and there it is. Another Pilots error. Aaron Manias this time cannot come up with it. The bases remain juiced now for Avery Neves.
If anybody tonight is going to do something with the bat, it's Avery Neves. 2 doubles, the only 2 extra base hits for the Chili Peppers.
Neves taps it foul. Mentioned Avery Neves won a national championship this past spring at Lynchburg, headed to College of Charleston next spring, and a great 2022 season. One of the best in Lynchburg baseball history. Hit an astounding .419. And going along with it, only had 3 home runs and 16 RBIs, but a great year at the plate. Able to steal 15 bags as well.
Issue for Ransom has been his spin rates. Everything below 2,000. 92, good velo on the fastball there, but it's flat. And he's missing the strike zone.
The count to Neves is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ransom still looking for that first out here in the home half of the 5th. 5 batters have already come up and reached base. third full count at bat of the inning. And obviously Ransom has not been able to win either one. Neves fans through it, and Ransom finally wins one. Gets his first punch out and the first out of the inning after 6 batters.
Just the 4th Pepper to strike out tonight. Still a good spot for Henry Cook, though.
Well, William, if you're the Peppers, you're ahead 10-0, only one gone. And here comes Hank Morgan. Do you still need to try and keep the pedal to the metal to try to score runs?
Absolutely. I mean, you got 2 runners in scoring position. Henry Cook's got a base hit tonight. He scored twice and got on twice. Hank Morgan out to the mound, though. You have to wonder if that might be it for Lincoln Ransom. Not sure just quite yet if anybody's going to make their way to the pen, from the pen, excuse me. But it's just been a clean game from the Peppers. And MJ, they've done it with their defense. They've been disciplined at the plate. 10 walks. There's really not a whole lot to say. 10 hits for the Peppers, 2 of them doubles. Good base running.
I mean, yeah, you really say it hasn't been a whole lot for the Peppers to do. You've mentioned they played good defense. Zach Abbey has been fantastic. 6 strikeouts through 5 innings, but it's been a lot of gifts from the Pilots. And Hank Morgan's still out there having a conversation.
This is kind of ridiculous. Jerry Burris just went out there, and now James Love is going to go out there as well. I mean, this is the second time Burris has had to go out there. They're talking with James Love. Maybe it's about balls and strikes. Strike zone's been pretty tight. I mean, a lot of walks, but I think it might be a little bit of a maneuver to get the bullpen some more time.
They are going to motion to the bullpen.
They're saying he has to come now.
Maybe it was just time to buy time for the reliever. And it looks like we'll see Nate Varnier. We'll take a short break on Flow Sports. When we come back, bases will be juiced for Henry Cook and Nate Varnier.
One more time.
Well, back in the home half of the 5th. All Chili Peppers here at Shepherd Stadium. Nate Varnier, the tall southpaw into the game, 6'7" out of William Pace College. And the Chili Peppers have frankly been his kryptonite this summer. He's thrown against them 4 times. Each time but one, he's given up at least 3 earned runs. He's got the bases juiced right now. All those runs will be credited to Lincoln Ransom, who started the inning in relief. And Henry Cook now at the dish with a fresh count.
Have to see what happens here. Varnier has struggled. He was an all-star last summer, though, for the Pilots. Cook taking the first pitch as normal protocol. Seeing a new arm, especially a lefty.
Varnier has struggled giving up the runs this summer. 22.23 ERA through 5 2/3 innings pitched. Given up earned runs in every single outing except for June 27th at home against Tri-City. 1-1 to Henry Cook.
Do you know how to do the Cotton Eye Joe?
I
I'm
used
doing it
to.
in between the pitch and change here. You used to?
Yeah.
You just forgot. Like
2-1. Cook taps it foul into the glove of the catcher, Barham White. Nate Varnier looking to make a statement out of the bullpen. Try and pick up out number 2 via the strikeout. All he needs is one ground ball to get his Pilots back into the dugout. They've already surrendered 2 runs. They're down 10-0.
Yo, man, that was my car hit by that RW stuck grinding foul ball.
all the games this week here at Shepherd Stadium have been games that have, you know, turned and been slow. They've really slowed down.
2-2. Cook skies a fly ball. This one hangs on the infield. Hunter Cole puts it away at first for out number 2.
2 straight outs for the Pilots. It's good, but I mean, all these games have just felt like they really have slowed down. I mean, we're already after 2 hours, and we're in the 5th inning.
Mentioned one of the big reasons why lots of walks for the Pilots tonight. Already 10 so far. Dalton Hurst now in with 2 gone. Bases remain juiced.
See Hurst, excuse me, in the right-handed batter's box this time around. Lone home run of the season from this side.
That one home run did come against the Peninsula Pilots. That was earlier this summer. That was a thrilling game. Back on June 9th, excuse me.
Yeah, that was a great game. 9-8 win for the Pilots.
Hurst way out in front of the breaking ball. 77 miles an hour out of the hand of Varnier. 1-2 the count. The Pepper second baseman. One, two. Hurst cuts through it. Nate Varnier comes in and picks up 2 outs with the bases loaded. 2 runs come across for the Peppers. They now lead by a score of 10-0. Stick around with us here on Flow Sports. We got a special guest in Cole Jenkins joining us in the top of the 6th. Yo, Cole, can you hear me? Hey, Cole, can you hear me down there? Back here in the top of the 6th inning, Peppers are ahead 10-0. We're joined by a special guest, the first baseman, Cole Jenkins. Cole, what's going on, my man? Having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll try to sort this out. Trey Morgan into the box. 0 for 2 so far today in the leadoff spot. The new arm on the hill for Tri-City is Joe Hastings. Zach Abbey, quite the performance. 6 strikeouts through 5 innings. Cole, you getting me down there? All right, still some technical difficulties. We'll keep trying to sort this out. Two. Morgan rolls it over to Cole Jenkins at first, and he puts it away for out number 1.
Now batting number 15, Mark Cisco.
Hey, Cole, you able to hear me down there?
I'm not in the earbud, but I can hear you on the phone.
All right, perfect. Well, don't keep the phone out too long. I want you to make sure you can play some first.
All right, I got you right here.
All right, perfect. Well, Cole, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing so far?
I'm doing all right.
Good stuff.
I got 2 walks tonight. I'll be okay with that.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a good stuff so far tonight. 10-0. You guys in front of the in-state rival Pilots. But Cole, just tell me, how so far this summer, how have you enjoyed it, and how do you feel like it's been?
Oh man, I've had such a great time. It's the crowds are great every week, and you know, this is actually a super tight-knit group of guys.
Here's a fly ball into right center, and there's Stolberry for out number 2.
As the plate is tonight's PPR strikeout.
Well, Cole, real quick before we get cut off, already 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Obviously, you're a utility guy. Saw the start in left field last night, get the start at first tonight. What kind of value do you see in being a utility guy, getting to play a whole lot of different positions and hopefully getting more playing time?
I lost you there for a second. I'm back.
Ryan Dooley now digs in with 2 gone. Cole, you still with me down there?
I'm with you.
All right, perfect. So what all positions do you play at VMI? Obviously, you mentioned you played a lot of different positions so far with Tri-City, but I want to tell the viewers what you're doing over with VMI.
So this past year, it was all right field. All 56 were in right field. So it's been kind of a weird culture shock to come back to the infield a little bit. But I'm not going to lie. I was scared of ground balls there for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it's nice to switch things up a little bit and see some different ground balls at different places and just get a feel for different positions.
Absolutely.
All right, Cole, one other thing I want to talk to you about is we know you're obviously a great baseball player, playing at VMI in college, playing with the Chili Peppers, but you were a second-team All-State in volleyball in high school. Tell me more about that.
I was. That was kind of a fluke. That's back when I was a better athlete.
So 2 going, a runner on.
I was about 170. I could actually move.
So 2 outs, and Justin Stark now digs in. Runner on first, Ryan Dooley.
Ryan Dooley ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. $5 you got.
Come here again. That's
I know.
not respecting the game.
So, Cole, you're coming up on your senior year. What would you say the biggest thing you're looking forward to is?
I don't know if many people know, but kind of just being a senior at VMI is kind of special. You get to kind of be a big brother to somebody. It's something I'm looking forward to.
Well, there's a deep fly ball off the bat of Justin Stark. Make it 10-2. Pilots looking to come back now. And Cole, that's a teammate of yours right there, and Justin Stark.
Yeah, I've seen that a time or two, that's for sure. That's a good ball player. I know we're rivals with the Pilots, but I'll always love my Kedat brothers.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of you guys between the Peppers and the Pilots. I mean, how is that playing against each other so many times this summer?
It's super fun because it's like being at school doing inter squads, really.
Well, here's one drilled into right field. That one off the bat of Hunter Cole. The Pilots making some noise with 2 gone.
I almost talked now. Just say hi.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, Hunter?
Cole Jenkins was my best friend when I was at VMI, and then I left him.
Yeah.
Hey, Cole, so you guys are wearing the sleeveless greens tonight. How do you like that move?
Phone almost fell out.
No, you're good. No worries. But, yeah, no, so I'm going back to that.
The earbud won't work.
There's a ground ball over to Ike. And there it is. Over to Cole Jenkins at first base for out number 3. Cole, thanks so much for joining us here in the top of the 6th. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
For tonight's mascot race.
We're back here in the home half of the 6th, 10-2. Chili Peppers on top. Justin Stark, a 2-run bomb, trying to get the Pilots back into this game. It's 9-1-2 due up for the Peppers. We'll start with William Bean, still in search of his first hit tonight.
MJ, that was a great interview, by the way. Credit to you for getting through that despite the technical difficulties. And I don't even think Cole Jenkins had the AirPods in. It looked like he just had his phone at his waistline. He would just bring it up to his mouth to speak into it. I wonder what the first base umpire, James Love, was thinking.
Hey, well, If there's anyone you're going to have technical difficulties with, Cole Jenkins not a bad guy to do it with. Always a fun guy. Just going with the flow. Appreciate Cole doing that for us. Nate Varnier back on the hill. He came in a big spot in the home half of the fifth. Inherited bases loaded with just one gone. And was able to get a fly out to Henry Cook and then strike out Dalton Hurst. 2-1 to Bean, misses outside. And Varnier in danger of putting the first base runner of his outing on. William Bean did walk back in the third. I mentioned he has 2 strikeouts on either side of that. Bean takes it high, and there's his second walk of the evening.
To you, Mr. B. Top of the lineup for your Chili Peppers, number
Top of the order now, and Danny Estrada, a guy with 2 singles. The Chili Peppers just need 2 runs and then 3 outs to go home early in a run rule. I mentioned after getting beat 11-6 last night against the Pilots, it sure would feel good to come back and take them down on their home turf. The breaking ball by Nate Varnier to begin the at-bat to Estrada, 78 miles an hour.
Well, Varnier finished that 5th off well for these Pilots. He retired the 2 batters he faced, a strikeout on Hurst. That didn't look like much of a strike, but chance to keep things rolling, and at this rate, this thing's at least going 9.
0-2 to Estrada. Dangerous take on the outer half. He's lucky to see another pitch. 1-2.
Has it cooled off at all? I mean, this is just like
1-2 runner goes. Pitch misses in. There's William Bean in with a stolen bag.
it is hot. It really is.
Estrada stays alive and fouls it away. Estrada this past spring at Frostburg State hit .250, 8 homers, 29 RBIs. The season prior, though, .373 average.
Yeah, first team MEC.
Estrada goes golfing, chops a ground ball foul. So he'll see another pitch. Count remains at 2-2. Estrada began his college career over at the University of New Orleans. After one season there, decided to attend Frostburg State. Estrada fouls it away once again. Keep it right here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Estrada, great at bat, fouling off pitch after pitch.
He's really battling here with Varnier, and Estrada 2 singles already tonight. We saw the play he made out in right field. Man, these are just hard cuts, and Varnier's challenging him, so you have to give credit to him. At a time, a high fastball. Man, that really startled me.
Sounds like I just won a Fortnite game.
Yeah.
2-2 is to Estrada.
Victory Royale.
Estrada this time puts it in fair territory. Grounds out to second base to Mark Sisko, but a productive at-bat as he moves William Bean over from second to third, and now with just one gone.
It's textbook, right? I mean, hit behind the runner. And Bean is able to advance, brings up Brandon Ike.
Brandon Ike now digs in his VCU teammate 90 feet away over at third. First pitch, Ike rounds it off the mound, back up the middle. Parker has a tough time handling it. And that'll go down as an infield single and an RBI for Brandon Ike.
Now batting number 5.
Poor Darnell Parker. He's had a ton of tough balls over there, and that one skips off the mound. I think it may have probably even got a piece of Varnier on the hill. Just an impossible play there. Young guy, obviously, gonna be frustrated with himself. Just kicking some dirt, but you can't hang your head too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, it feels like Brandon Ike has had a quiet game. Then you look down, he's got 3 singles and a sac fly. It feels like if he's not hitting extra base hits, people aren't wild, but Brandon Ike is so consistent in this Peppers order.
Well, this is kind of what we were talking about last night, MJ, on Mixler. But Peppers, it feels like, in terms of their offense, you know, they'll have a game maybe once a week where they just light up the scoreboard. Like today, you know, 11 runs and 11 hits, walks all over the place. Everybody getting on, everybody getting a piece of the cake. But they'll also have games as Stolberry strikes out looking, where it's just they can't hit anything, and that's more games than not, and that's partly why they're at 15-14 and 3-3.
So Stolberry strikes out. Now 2 gone in the home half of the 6th, and we'll see Miles Webb pinch hitting for our interviewee, Cole Jenkins.
I hope that the interview just wasn't too much for him.
Ike was going on the first pitch. Miles Webb fouls it away. Webb's a guy that has produced in college. He's had a great few years at Randolph-Macon. As a sophomore, was all ODAC first team. He hit 370, hit 328 this past spring. Just hasn't quite got it going this summer.
No, he hasn't. He's been a bit cold, but honestly, he hasn't had that much time at the plate.
Only 22 at-bats. Just 2 hits.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing with a lot of these guys that the more they see at the plate, the better they're going to feel and the more comfortable they'll get with the wooden bat. I think that may have been a tough adjustment for him.
Varnier has him down 0-2, and Miles Webb golfs through it. Second strikeout of the inning for Nate Varnier. He's got 3 through 2 innings of relief. Peppers get 1. They're ahead 11-2. Stick around with us as we head to the 7th. The Coastal Plain Game of the Week here on Flow Sports. Back here, top 7. Peppers on top 11-2. We'll see Aaron Manias facing off against Joe Hastings to begin the inning. Joe Hastings came in relief last inning of Zach Abbey. Mentioned Zach Abbey, 5 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, didn't give up any runs. Justin Stark had a 2-run bomb in the top of the 6th. Manias fans through a low breaking ball. A few wild swings down 1-2.
How about Justin Stark, though, the home run? Last inning for these Pilots, his second in just in as many days. Hit one last night. He's just been really good lately and been solid for them on this run this second half, why they've been so competitive, much more than they were early on this season. And we mentioned this multiple times throughout the broadcast, but not, it feels like a good bit, but 3 of the best players for these Pilots not in the lineup today. And Henry Garcia, Chris Martinez, and Mason Dunaway. 2 of those guys, CPO All-Stars, but you have to think with this being a bullpen game, maybe a strategic play there by Hank Morgan.
2-2. Hastings gets Manias to go fishing. Doesn't come up with a catch. Goes down on strikes. Joe Hastings' first punch out of the game. So Barham White, the catcher, now digs in. Had a single back in the 3rd.
Oh, you could hear Joe Hastings grunt all the way from up here on that pitch.
Well, the Pilots trail by 9. They don't score any runs this inning. The Peppers grab 1 in the home half of the inning. It'll be a Peppers victory in 7. There's another grunt from Hastings, this time a strike. 2-1 now the count to Barham White. He struggled this summer, to say the least. 121 average, just 1 homer and 6 ribbies coming into the game.
The grunts are working for Joe Hastings. He's got a little bit of tennis in him.
Wimbledon just finishing up over
This
in
weekend.
London. It should be a good couple days. See the semifinals tomorrow. We'll see Alcaraz versus Medvedev, which should be a great one, and then Djokovic versus Sinner in the other semifinal. That's on the men's side at least. Well, there's Barham White. Just drills a ground ball through the 6-hole, make it 2 singles for him tonight. This one comes with 1 out.
I was disappointed when Christopher Eubanks lost to Medvedev. It was a good match yesterday. I think the doubles championship was today.
One gone. Here's Darnell Parker. I will say I don't watch a whole lot of tennis, but it's always fun to watch Wimbledon.
That's kind of the, yeah.
It seems like that's the
and
big one.
Chris Fowler's as good as it gets.
Absolutely.
On the headset. He does a great job.
Big cut by Darnell Parker at the dish. Comes up empty. Parker struck out twice tonight. Has not been his night. Rough day at the plate and in the field. Has a couple of errors to his name. Parker tries to hit it like a cricket pitch. This one bounces in the dirt before the plate. Comes up empty. One, two, and Darnell Parker deep down the left field line, and it just lands foul. Man, Darnell Parker got every single piece of that baseball and just missed an extra base hit.
Man, did he want that, and that's the potential that we've heard about with Darnell Parker. It rips that thing, and I thought it was going to stay fair or at least hit the foul pole even. Joe Hastings lucky. That wasn't the second long ball he's given up.
1-2 the count remains. The Pilot shortstop, and there it is. Third strikeout for Darnell Parker. Joe Hastings, his second punch out of the inning, and out number 2 here in the top of the 7th.
Got him! Got him! Top of the lineup for the Pilots, number 1, Trey Morgan.
Trey Morgan into the box for the 4th time tonight as the lineup turns over. Hitless tonight. Pair of groundouts and a flyout. This one hard on the ground, past the diving glove of Miles Webb. That feels good for Trey Morgan, finally getting his first hit.
That would have been an incredible play by Webb. Wasn't able to glove it. And like you said, good job by Trey Morgan.
So now the umpires converge. Not sure what they're talking about. Might be an interference issue. Miles Webb was laying out for that. William, you mentioned would have been a spectacular play. That might be questioning whether Barham White interfered with Webb, trying to make out number 3.
James Bierline's out there, and he's pretty adamant about this. To be quite honest with you, I didn't see much of a play-altering, interference-worthy interaction there, but yeah, it looks like they're just going to stick with the call.
That's tough, too, I think, when Miles Webb is diving, going all out. It's different if he's going to field a ground ball and clearly gets knocked, but tough when he's actually laying out, putting his body on the line.
Trying to make a play on the ball, and obviously, if that's in the base paths, that's too bad. You're going to have to jump over me.
So 0-1, the count begins to Mark Cisco, hitless tonight as well. Pair of flyouts and a strikeout. Cisco puts this one on the ground. William Bean over at short, sidearms it across the diamond. And how about that for out number 3? 11-2 the score remains. A pair of hits proves to be nothing. One more run for the Peppers, and they get the job done. We head to the home half of the 7th. Fans, wherever you are, make sure you take some time and stretch as we head to the 7th inning stretch on Flo Sports. Back here, home half the 7th on Flo Sports Shepherd Stadium, 11-2. Peppers on top of the Pilots. We're heading down now to Josh Miskey on the sideline. Josh, what's going on, my man?
So good.
Welcome back. Time to spotlight our last CPL All-Star for the Tri-City Chili Peppers, and that being the catcher and designated hitter tonight, Cole Garrett. As they affectionately call him in the dugout, his nickname is Sarge, and Sarge has put together a very quietly good season. As when he was voted an All-Star, he had a .327 batting average that was good enough for second on the team. He's been flirting around .300 all season batting average-wise, but quietly offensive numbers, just 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. But tonight, 1 for 4 and a run scored, and that's been his main method of scoring offense. Would go with some really good defense behind the plate, too. That's been an underrated part of his game as well as the main Chili Peppers catcher.
Appreciate it, Josh. So Nate Varnier remains in the game here in his third inning of relief work. 11-2. Peppers just need one more to go home early, and Cole Garrett gets things going for the Peppers. Varnier's first pitch to Cole Garrett is in there for strike number one. And William, how about Nate Varnier? We talked about he has not had success against the Chili Peppers at all this summer, but really looking strong so far.
Yeah, he's been really solid. 3 strikeouts. Just the one single to Brandon Ike. He's just been really good since coming into this game and showing why he was a CPL All-Star last season. We mentioned the rough start he had, but
Well, Garrett drills this one into center field, but right there is his college teammate Trey Morgan to put away out number one.
he's starting to figure it out. And he's letting his defense help him out. Trey Morgan, about as good as it gets defensively out there in center field. Good eyes reading that ball off the bat of Cole Garrett.
Here's been the best Pepper at the plate this evening in Avery Neves. A pair of doubles so far through 4 at-bats. A 1 to Neves bounces low. Count even at 1-1. Tri-City will be on the road tomorrow. It's a nice long road trip down to the beach in Morehead City, North Carolina. They'll face the Marlins tomorrow night at 7. That broadcast will be on Mixler.
It's all sweaty.
MJ Newsom, myself, and Josh Miskey will be down there with you. Two-one breaking ball to Neves, 71 miles an hour. Able to find the zone, knot things up even at the count once again. So a full count bat to Avery Neves here with 1 gone in the home half of the 7th. Chili Peppers looking to end this game early. Ahead 11-2 if they can scratch across 1. They'll win this game via the run rule in 7. Full count. Neves checks his swing. First base umpire James Love says he went around. So make it out number 2. And Nate Varnier, 4 strikeouts here in his relief outing. He's been the best pitcher for the Pilots.
He really has been, MJ. It was a rough going for Michael Caldone and Velasquez, Cam Knuckles, even Lincoln Ransom. And finally, Nate Varnier able to throw some good innings for these Pilots and much needed, especially if they want to keep this game going. 1 more run for the Peppers and make it a run rule.
Henry Cook now digs in. Chili Pepper backstop this evening. Already gunned 1 runner out, trying to steal a base on him. He's quickly down 0-2 here with 2 gone in the 7th. 0-2 Cook rips it right back up the middle. There's Cisco behind the second base bag, and he puts it away for out number 3. Nate Varnier, 3 up, 3 down, with the Pilots' backs against the walls here in the 7th. 11-2, Peppers still on top. Pilots have a chance to answer back. back here, top 8. Carter Gorling, the new arm on the hill for Tri-City. We'll talk about him in just a second. Let's take a brief moment to look at the second half East Division standings. While the Peppers are on top of the hot. After a rough first half, they're on top, 4-1 record. Holly Springs, another team that struggled, they're right behind them.
But all we get is Aquafina.
Wilson Tobbs in the third spot at 3-2. Morehead City, talked about it. They had a great first half, struggling a bit, 4-4. Tri-City Chili Peppers at 3-3, and Wilmington and Florence rounds it out at the bottom.
Well, Peppers got off to a really good start this second half, and you talked about how good the Pilots have been lately. That's why they're at 4-1. Holly Springs, another kind of sleeper team that's starting to come alive. The Peppers saw them over the past weekend on Saturday, and honestly, MJ, if it weren't for the brilliant pitching performance from Levi Huseman, things may have ended a bit differently. That's a Holly Springs Salamanders squad that is starting to find the right groove.
Got 2 surprises at the top here in the second half. Ryan Dooley gets things going in the 8th against Carter Gorling. Gorling, one of the main pitchers, it seems like, for the Chili Peppers, night in and night out. A go-to guy for relief. He's off to a bit of a rough start. 3-0 the count in favor of Ryan Dooley.
Yeah, Gorling even pitched last night in the 11-6 loss at Peninsula. He's got to lead the Peppers in games pitched.
It's a 5-pitch walk to Ryan Dooley to get things going here in the top of the 8th. Carter Gorling was telling us at the beginning of the summer his goal is to gain his confidence back, and he's done a great job of doing so.
Yeah.
He's had a 14.37 ERA and just 9 appearances, 20 2/3 in his redshirt freshman year at Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah, he's really been good with runners on. And, you know, the control has been an issue. He's walked a lot of guys and not struck out many. But with runners on, he's been able to get out of a lot of sticky situations and a lot of jams, and we saw that even last night. Pilots had 2 on with 1 out. Gorling was able to get out of it. He's just been solid and a trusted reliever for James Bierlein in his second season.
Gorling struggling to begin this outing. Already 6 balls thrown, just 1 strike. Needs to hone into the zone and try to get his squad back in the dugout.
And it's a tough spot to come in. I mean, you've been sitting around in the bullpen for almost 3 hours. It's still the 8th inning, and you have to come in and throw. The strike there, but Stark didn't like it.
Stark homered back in the 6th inning. That was in the midst of our interview with Cole Jenkins. It's funny, Cole Jenkins and Justin Stark, I'm sure you may have heard them, teammates at VMI. A lot of VMI between these 2 squads. Justin Stark gets another good piece. Launches it into center field. But this one does not have enough, and Mike Dolberry comfortably puts away out number 1.
Now batting for Peninsula number 2.
It's another thing Gorling's done really well is pitch for contact. Hasn't given up too many long balls. It's been the key for him. Only 2 outings he's given up runs in this summer.
Hunter Cole now digs in. He singled his last time up. That also came in the 6th inning. Well, this Coastal Plain Game of the Week has not exactly included a whole lot of fireworks. It's been a lot of walks, a lot of errors, a lot of unforced runs in favor of Tri-City. Justin Stark did get that big homer, as we mentioned, back in the 6th, but that's really been about it. Avery Neves, a pair of doubles for Tri-City. But solid pitching on the side of Tri-City as well. Zach Abbey, a great start.
And if you're still with us here on Flow Sports, just MJ and I especially, and Sam Wolf, our producer and director, thanks for tuning in. It's been a really fun summer of calling games for the Chili Peppers. And it's hard to believe that it's about 3 weeks away from ending. But it's been a blast, and just to be able to spend our nights with a lot of you guys, and I'm sure a lot of parents of players and things like that, and share our story and share the players' stories with you guys has been a treat.
Carter Gorling gets a big punch out. That's a good response after walking the leadoff man, and Ryan Dooley gets Justin Stark to fly out, and he gets a looking K to Hunter Cole. So Ethan Ott comes in with 2 gone. Still a runner on first is Ryan Dooley. But yeah, going off what William said, it has been a blast this summer to get to hang out with you guys here on Flow Sports. Those of you who also tune into Mixler, thank you for that.
We really don't have too much viewer interaction, so just for you guys to be able to put up with us for this whole summer, maybe I don't know if you guys are with us in some of those exhibition games, but you can get a bit off topic. I know even at points here tonight we've done that, but it's just been a lot of fun. We've also had some great games, too. We've had a walk-off, and it's just been a fun season, and I'm glad it's not over yet.
Hard to believe that walk-off came first week of the season. Second game against Wilmington, it was Teron Hammond who did it.
It feels like it was just yesterday.
Man, it really does. 1-2 Gorling looking for his second punch-out of the inning. Drills a ground ball through the 4-hole. This one heads into right field, and on to second base is Ryan Dooley. So a pair of singles now here in the top of the 8th, and Aaron Manias comes in.
And for me, I know it's a little bit early to do this, but just because I'm in the mood. One of my favorite memories so far of this summer was that July 3rd game against the Olney Crop Dusters. It was an exhibition game, but it was fun. The crowd was the best we've had all year. There were fireworks after. It was a great game also, and it just had a little bit of everything. Had home runs, had great pitching, and I think the Crop Dusters were a great team. It was just a really fun – that was one of the most fun games I've ever called in my life, and I hope that we can have just a few more of those in the next few weeks.
I mean, a lot of fun games. I mean, a lot of fun games between these two squads as well. I mean, we called that great 9-8 thrilling finish back on June 9th where the Peppers trailed 7-0.
Yeah.
Came back and scored 8 unanswered. And then Justin Stark, I believe it was, had that big 2-run shot in the 8th to give the Pilots the edge.
It's just been a lot of fun.
Well, Gorling's having some fun as well. He's ahead 1-2, still looking for that second punch out and the final out here in the top of the 8th. And how about Carter Gorling in high school, William? He's a great pitcher, but also a great hitter. 429 batting average. Played some outfield. That batting average,
You got to get him out there.
District leading.
In Texas as well.
Manias lifts a fly ball. And there's Avery Neves in left field as he tosses it in to the Pilots bullpen. That's out number 3. So a goose egg in the top of the 8th. Peppers need that 1 run in the home half of the 8th to end this one earlier. Nate Varnier coming back on the hill. We'll see if he can continue his good outing. Bottom of the 8th here on Flow Sports. Tri-City still holds that commanding 9-run edge, 11-2. They're ahead of the in-state rival Pilots. Dalton Hurst heads over to the right-handed batter's box to get things going. Switch bat so far. Pair of walks, a single, and a strikeout. Nate Varnier has been the highlight on the mound for the Pilots so far. He's the 5th arm they've thrown out there, giving up no runs and 4 strikeouts. Still some Baby Shark playing down the right field line, and looks like our home plate umpire, Jerry Burrish, is asking for it to go off. Well, we started with a pretty good crowd on hand tonight, William. Still some guys sticking around.
The crowd giving Jerry Burrish a hard time, not letting the music play. It was, and look, if you're coming out here, you're going to be hot, you're going to be sweaty, you're going to be gross. You're going to have a good time, right? And you're making memories. That's all life's about.
A big swing by Hurst. Comes up empty. 1-2 the count to the Pepper second baseman. William Bean stands on deck. Still hitless today.
Hurst has had a good day, pretty quietly. Solid, considering, how the summer's gone for him so far. He's starting to really, I think, get a hang of things. Recent games here, he's looked good, especially, that game at Holly Springs, he was the hero.
How about Nate Varnier? 5 strikeouts now as he gets Dalton Hurst to swing and miss for the first out in the 8th inning.
He looks like a new pitcher. He really does. He looks much more confident on the hill, and I think that's been a big part of why he's been able to improve over the course of the summer.
So Bean in to face Varnier with 1 gone. Or 1 run for the Peppers can end it here in the 8th inning. Bean takes a hack and misses it. Still searching, as I mentioned, for that first hit of the game. He's walked twice, but also struck out twice as well. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the VCU Ram. Began his career at West Virginia, spent a season there, then spent a season at Richard Bland College right down the road in Petersburg. Bean fans through the changeup, 78 miles an hour. 6th punch out for Nate Varnier in the 3rd for William Bean.
Yeah, Varnier really finding his stuff, but looks like it's probably going to be too little too late.
Danny Estrada now digs in for the 6th time tonight. He singled twice, struck out, and grounded out to second twice. Only been, I say only, 11 hits for the Peppers on the scoreboard, but a lot of those base runners that have reached home have been walks. Errors. Hasn't exactly been the prettiest game defensively for Peninsula.
3 pass balls that scored runs.
Changeup working well for Nate Varnier. Again, 78 miles an hour, and gets Estrada out in front. One-two. Estrada fans through it. Nate Varnier strikes out the side. Give him 7 punch outs 3 1/3 innings of relief. 11-2. Peppers still on top. We head to the top of the 9th on Flow Sports.
Bring the horses out and use them.
Top of the 9th, 9 runs to go for the Pilots. Long way for them to go. It's been all Chili Peppers so far. And Hayden Ford into the game for the Peppers in relief of Carter Gorling. Came in, got a strikeout in just 1 inning pitched. So far this summer, Hayden Ford 1-0, a 5.62 ERA in 8 games. Has not started one. 8 total innings pitched, giving up 12 walks to 8 strikeouts. So he struggled on that end. Last time he pitched was 2 days ago against Martinsville. Gave up a run in 1 inning.
The struggle from Ford has been that control, but to his benefit, hasn't given up a lot of extra base hits. He's keeping a lot in the infield. See if we can hone in on the strike zone.
First batter he faces is Barham White. He's had a nice night tonight. 2 singles and a strikeout in between. White might have broken his bat as this one flares over to Dalton Hurst at second base for a quick out number 1.
Everything's going to have to go to the trash can, or I guess the recycling bin.
So here's a guy that would love to get a base hit. Darnell Parker, a rough day for him.
I'm rooting for him.
3 strikeouts so far and a pair of errors. Missed an extra base hit by a matter of inches in his last at-bat.
I think Parker might be struggling to catch up to the speed of some of these pitchers. You know, Ford fastball sits around high 80, 87, 88, that one 87.
Well, Parker loses his elbow guard.
Just a different adjustment you have to make going from high school to, I mean, these are, you know, juniors and seniors in college.
I mean, really a great opportunity for Parker to have a chance to play against some really good collegiate guys, and he got to face off against the CPL All-Star and Zach Abbey tonight before he heads over to Wichita State. Ford gets him down on strikes, the golden sombrero to Darnell Parker. 4 strikeouts for the shortstop.
Top of the lineup, number 1, Trey Morgan.
So Trey Morgan comes up. He's at the top of the order. 2 gone. Just 1 out to work with for the Pilots. They still need 9. Be a miraculous 2-out rally. They can somehow make this work. Brandon Nike comes into the infield grass guarding any type of drag bunt. We've seen Morgan do it a few times. Has a lot of speed. Leadoff center fielder. 2-0 to Trey Morgan. Hayden Ford looking to get that final out.
This game well over 3 hours now.
It's been a long one. Lots of walks, and that's really been the issue. Why is lots of pitching
long
changes.
at bats, pitching changes, walks, mound visits, meetings with the umpires, that kind of thing. But it's been a good bounce-back performance for Tri-City after 3 straight losses.
So Morgan walks on 5 pitches, and he heads down to first with 2 gone. So we'll see Mark Cisco here in the top of the 9th.
At the plate number 15, Mark Cisco.
First pitch fastball from Ford paints the outer black. 2 strikes away from a Chili Pepper victory. Cisco takes a big hack through it. Now make it 1 strike. 0-2 the count to the second baseman for Peninsula. Trey Morgan, the runner on first. So a long way to go for the Pilots.
Shout out to everybody still here.
Oh and 2 to Mark Cisco. 0 for 4 day for him. Had a double yesterday. Not much luck at the plate this evening. One, 2 from Ford. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 gone. Top of the 9th. Peppers ahead 11-2. Coastal Plain League game of the week here at Shepherd Stadium. There it is. Hayden Ford blows it by Mark Cisco. He gets 2 punch outs in the inning. And the Peppers, a big bounce back win after a 3-game skid. They're now 4-3 in the second half. Well, it was the defensive miscues that killed the Pilots tonight. Not a whole lot of exciting offense from the Peppers. Avery Neves highlights it with 2 big doubles. Zach Abbey great on the hill. 6 punch outs through 5 innings. The bullpen helped him out as well. A lot of walks, a lot of errors, a lot of hit by pitches. The Pilots could not get it done defensively. So that's all we've got from up here in the booth. But stick around with us. We'll send it down to William McDermott and Josh Miskey on the field here in just a few moments. I'm sorry, I kind of lost steam and didn't keep that super professional, but like, the freaking interview killed me. That took everything out of me. Yeah. Like everything. You handled yourself well in the interview. Thank you. It was just like, first time I did it, super stressful, didn't know what was going on, I couldn't barely hear him.
Yeah, and my thing is like, don't get like too worried when technical shit's happening, because it happens all the time. Yeah. Everywhere you go, you've watched ESPN before,
Yeah.
and they've thrown down to a live shot, and it's like, oh, we're gonna have to cut.
The echo was what was killing me.
Yeah. And I'll check out the game out live, but I think it's good practice if you're doing 100% interviews. He's on a resume, or like just on a portfolio, even though it's a high quality data, it's gonna look good, especially if you keep your cool.
All right. Well, it wasn't supposed to be like this, but we got a 4-man post-game interview tonight. We got James Beerline, the head coach of the Chili Peppers, after a nice win, 11-2, the final score. Let's go to JB first, as we always do. Your thoughts on the game here tonight?
Just guys playing ball. Like, we know we always can do that at any given day, and that's our game.
Now, one more thing for you here. So, you had a tough loss last night to the Chili Peppers. You lost to them the last two. They put a convincing win on you last night, 11-6. You come back and basically return the favor tonight. What's your thoughts on that?
It's always a battle back and forth between us. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I think we're better. But we just didn't have our best game yesterday. Obviously, Zach Abbey gave us a great start, and our bullpen did what it's supposed to do, and our hitters, they hit. So they're good. They're good players.
Now over here is the player of the game, in our estimation. Avery Neves had two big doubles in this game, a ripping double in the first inning. That set the tone really for this game. Your thoughts on your hitting performance so far in this game?
I'm just happy that I was able to flip a switch after the past few games, struggling a little bit. Just try to relax a little bit, and like JB said, like we just try to come out here and play and have fun and enjoy the game we get to play. So yeah, I was just proud of myself for being able to do that.
Avery, you also got it done on the defensive end. One of the many great plays in the outfield tonight. How have you guys, as a collective, you've just been great defensively all year long. I saw you and Dolbear kind of the exchange after the throw. What was that like?
I mean, Dolbs and Danny, both great outfielders. Danny, full extension layout today. Dolbs can make a play on any given night, and playing with those guys, makes you play at a high level. And, me and Dolbs have a little fun out there. So getting to celebrate that with him was, awesome.
No, I'm stealing Will's question because he didn't ask it yet. You're going to College of Charleston coming up. You were at a national champion at the University of Lynchburg, but you're going to D1 now. What's your transition looking like to go to a D1 school like that?
Just new place, new culture, new environment. You got to come in fresh. Earn the respect of the people around you, but also, bring the standards that I had at Lynchburg that led us to a national championship to another program, and show that through my work ethic and how I play.
As the rain begins to fall here at Shepherd Stadium,
feels kind of good.
It does feel nice. So we'll be on the road tomorrow at Morehead City, the first of a home-and-home series against the Morehead City Marlins. They've not beaten that team yet, but I'll give this one to JB. The last time they were down there, it was a doubleheader and 2 one-run losses, a very frustrating go of it. How do you reverse that going forward for the next 2 games?
I think, some hits went their way towards the end, but I thought we played 2 really good baseball games that could have went either way. Like I said, from the get-go of the season, we're not going to change the way we play. Boys have fun. They're all really good players, and we just make baseball fun.
Well, we had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time watching tonight on the Flow Sports Game of the Week from Shepherd Stadium. It's a rainy Shepherd Stadium as the Chili Peppers have won the game 11-2 against the Peninsula Pilots. For Will McDermott and MJ Newsom, I'm Josh Miskey signing off. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, appreciate it. Good game tonight.